today we'd like to discuss the blind usage and reliance on IVF today, especially in the treatment for miscarriage patients. So if you're very similar to many patients, you can read many articles, news, announcements about how couples are having successful pregnancies when they are struggling with miscarriage and infertility for several years, and then miraculously IVF has given them a newborn, a new member to their family. Now, although this is something worth celebrating, there must be more truth to this. Now, on paper, IVF seems to be very successful, very popular if you have a history of miscarriages and infertility. However, at Antai Hospital today, we'd like to clear things up, make a few clarifications so that you won't have these misconceptions and you can avoid some potential dreadful consequences. So IVF is simply an assistive procedure that allows you to get pregnant. It is not a treatment method at all. So we can see several news articles featuring these patients having several miscarriages. So in recent weeks, just last week, there was a news article sharing in our local region here in Singapore where a couple had suffered 12 consecutive miscarriages, and on the 13th one they had a successful pregnancy with IVF. So many people will brand IVF as a very successful method because they succeeded despite 13 miscarriages. But there's something very horribly wrong here. Your patient should not go through that many miscarriages in order to achieve successful pregnancy. And this is exactly the misuse, the blind usage and dependence of IVF. Patients all over the world, even doctors, are recommending IVF for miscarriage patients instead surgical treatment. So what happens to these patients is that because they didn't go for treatment, they went to an assistive procedure which does not treat anything at all, simply places a fertilized egg inside the uterus, and that is all. There is no treatment method for any underlying disease. So because they didn't go for treatment, these patients suffer repeated miscarriages after miscarriage after miscarriage, wasting years of their time and also several hundred thousands in medical expenses, especially IVF, especially pricey medical procedure. So not only they waste time, they waste money as well. These are all very valuable things when you want to get pregnant and start a family. So instead of going for treatment, which is what we recommend here at Antai Hospital, because we specialize in miscarriage treatment and prevention, we can help patients avoid 12 miscarriages. You can not only save time, you can save a lot of money in procedure as well, because treatment is much more effective. It is the most effective way. It is in fact the only effective approach. So how this couple succeeded is because they were lucky. The 13th miscarriage did not occur because IVF somehow assisted in their successful pregnancy. They had clearly an underlying disease that was not being treated. So to avoid all that, at Antai Hospital, we always recommend thorough diagnosis. Do you really need IVF? Are you really going to benefit from IVF? Because only a certain group of patients will benefit IVF. That is why IVF only sees consistently low success rates. This is something the news outlets will never report. They only report its successes but not its failure, and its failure is consistently happening because they're not specific to the patient's needs. IVF is highly effective for patients who have infertility caused by tubal problems, which means something wrong with the fallopian tubes. Other than that, if you have problems with the uterus, any other parts of the reproductive system, the ovaries, it will cause a failure in IVF, repeated miscarriages, which is why treatment is it's the only effective approach here. At Antai Hospital, we know that there's up to 43 or 44 individual causes that can cause this miscarriage, and we give you the relevant treatments in a one-time effective surgery. Within 6 months, you're fully recovered and you can go for natural pregnancy. A natural pregnancy on your own with no assistance, and you can even naturally give birth to your child because there's no disease or condition that is obstructing the pregnancy, affecting the pregnancy, causing some problems in the birth or labor. There's none of that, no complications at all, which is why in this video, if there's one point you take away, is that You should be careful on the usage of IVF. Be sure whether or not it will be effective for you, and you should first seek proper diagnosis and treatment with a specialist hospital like Antai Hospital, and get your miscarriage treated first. This way, you can easily achieve several consecutive natural pregnancies with no problems at all. So if you'd like to find out more information as to how we treat your miscarriage and ensure and guarantee that you have a newborn in your next one, please contact us via the website, set up a consultation. Let's discuss how we can assist you in your pregnancy journey today.